Super fly.
Hi guys, I'm going to do a quick assembly video of the Flipmode frame. Let's just have a quick run through of what we've got here. So we've got the arms here, we've got the 2mm top plate, we've got the lower plate with the press nuts, we've got the two camera plates, we've got the locking plate, we've got the standoffs, and we've got the kind of hardware there as well, and the TPU video antenna mount. So the way to go is to start off making the sandwich with the lower plate and the arms and the locking plate. So let's do that now. So something worth noting is that there's different length bolts for the 4 stack bolts. You can either use 12mm or you can either use 14mm. Use the 14mm if you want to use a stack. So so it allows you to place a nylon washer over the nut, then you put your first stack, then you put your standoffs, and then you put your second board in the stack. If you just want to use an AIO, you can actually just, like an all-in-one flight controller, you can actually just use the 12mm bolts, which will poke through a little bit here, then you just put the standoff directly over the press nut. So when you obviously put it together, you just need to make sure that you use the right bolts, and you can do that. If I've got a ruler somewhere, you can just measure. I know that these are the 14mm bolts because they've got the nut on it, and the 14mm bolts go on the outer edges, and of course you can use the 14 on the inner ones if you want to use a stack. So if you just measure, you can see that's the 12. So let's use the 12. It's 12. That's 12. And that's 12 as well. So we use those. So we start with this way around. We'll try and actually do it so it's in shot. You want to start off with it like this. And we got the 12 bolt, so oh, it's a bit fiddly. And you get a Allen key, but I'm actually going to use my driver because it's a bit easier. And I'm not going to do that super tight. Just do it a little bit loosely just for now. I'm going to put the 14mm. Just measure that and check that it will be 14. There you go. It's just under the 15. I don't know if it'll focus well, but okay. So put that in here. Use the flanged lock nut. It's a nice strong lock nut. Don't need to tighten that. So obviously do that all the way around. Maybe go to fast forward on this one. Okay, so, and you should see that that will be nice and locked and solid. Okay, so you just need to do that up tight to make sure. Okay, right, let's do the front end. Okay, whilst I'm doing this, actually, I've just realized that I didn't talk about something that I wanted to talk about, which is filing the carbon. So I would definitely recommend that people file the strap slots as a bare minimum of filing, because if you don't, when you crash, you have a sharp edge there, and it can cut the strap, and it's the same here. So I recommend, and you can do it underwater. I'm just gonna, I've got a file here. You can get them on eBay. This is a rounded file. So actually, seeing as I got the rounded file, I'll just say that I also recommend, if you can, to file the edges of here as well, so that when you place the rubber grommet in, it doesn't cut it too much. I know it's a bit of a hassle to do this sort of thing, but to be honest, it's time well spent. And actually, I do all the edges because it just feels much nicer, and it's only takes a few minutes. So, but just obviously be careful with carbon. Make sure you do it under running water and wash your hands. I actually will often do the filing on this as just one solid unit, and it's a bit of a lazy man's kind of version of it, but you know, it's fine. I just kind of work around the arms on both sides, around here, around the arms, and it doesn't take too long. It's just a job that you have to do once. So yeah, so strap slots, and then the rest of the, you know, the top plate as well, if you want to. You know, that's personal preference, but I like to do it. So what I do is put the standoffs in. These are the 28mm standoff, black standoffs that go on the front. Do this 3 first. And what you can do when you're building is actually put the camera in here as well. It's up to you if you want to do it like that. It can be a little bit easier. So you could just put one side of the camera bolts here and here, and then you just slot it over into here. Should slot in. And keep it fairly tight because you don't want it moving around too much. The tolerances, that is. And then you just put the other side on, and then you put your bolts in. Oh, it's pretty easy, isn't it? I mean, it's not rocket science. But when it's all come together, it's pretty solid. Okay, so that's the nice front plates. We want to put the standoffs in. So let's do that here, like that. And then let's just do it like this. Put the bolts in. Okay, so you might just put these standoffs on. So this is how you do it for the AIO all-in-one flight controller. You just put these standoffs directly over, and then there'll be plenty of room for the build. The stack won't be very high, so there will be lots of clearance. Okay, and then, oh, we've got the antenna mount, so we can just slip this on. This is actually an earlier version. I've slightly moved the mounting position, but it's the same thing basically. Just pop this over the standoffs. Boom, that's done. Then the final thing is the top plate. Obviously you might want to use the neoprene mat, or you might want to use a bit of Velcro if that's what you, should probably call it hook and loop. So yeah, and then you've just got this little locking mechanism. So what you need to do is just put it in at an angle, click it in. There you go, heard that. And then down. So, and then that's locked it down. Simple as that. So that's pretty much it. You just obviously got the straps, so you might want to, you actually should have done the strap before I put the top plate on. That was stupid, but there you go. You just put the strap through. I believe it goes through that way, that way, that way, and then it's like that. So I'm just going to chuck it through there. Actually, it's worth noting that you can use the third strap. I've just got two here, so one goes there, one goes here, and you can put the third one either under here and between the VTX. You see here you've got some slots there, you've got a slot there. It's difficult to see there, it's slightly covered, but there's slots there for the VTX, for a zip tie. So you can put this under the VTX, so between the plate and the VTX, or you can put the VTX in first and then just wrap it round like that. Both work, so it's fine. And I think that is pretty much it. I think I'll maybe just show you. Here's one I made earlier. There. It looks a bit better, doesn't it? With the motors. Yep, that's the flip mode. Cheers, guys.